I'm back in the Hiawatha National Forest. This time we're checking out Grand Island.
So some of the things people like to do here on Grand Island are obviously camping, there's hiking, biking, and kayaking.
And we're in Craig Lake State Park for a night in a yurt. 9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. .906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. Jump in a boat, paddle your kayak, or just hop on the ferry and make the quick half-mile trip to Grand Island. It's a great place for sightseeing, hiking, biking, kayaking, and camping. I went there to check it out for some future camping possibilities and got a tour of the island.
So welcome to Grand Island National Recreation Area. The Forest Service acquired Grand Island in 1990, and it has been developed into what a wonderful place we have here today. The island is approximately 8 miles long, 5 miles wide. There is a rim trail that goes around the island. It's approximately 20 miles long. It generally takes a couple days to do that, but if you're really set on doing it in one day, it can be done in one day. The island itself is approximately 22 square miles in size, a little over 13,000 acres. Some of the facilities we have out here, we have 19 individual campsites. We have 2 group campsites. Along with our campsites, we also have day use areas that people can come out and enjoy. All right, here we are at Murray Bay Day Use Site. This is a pretty popular area for people who want to come out here and just spend the day out here and not really too much camping. There's a fire pit, there's a grill, a large grill, and plenty of picnic tables, plenty of seating. You can also access this area by boat. However, you do need to stop in our office there in Munising to get a boat permit, and that is $40 a year, but that is good all year long, and that covers your day use fee. We are at the Murray Bay group site. There's one of 2 group sites on Grand Island. The other one is Juniper Flats group site. It's on the west side of the island. This site will accommodate up to 25 people. There's 5 tent pads. And then just down off to my right, there's 2 individual sites, Loon Call and Bermuda sites. So here we are at Trout Bay, and in Trout Bay we have 4 campsites. And 2 day use areas, 2 sites and 1 day use area on the west side and the east side of Trout Bay, as well as we have wood boxes at both ends. Forest Service folks provide wood. We do ask that you use it sparingly and use only what you need. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to make the rounds and fill up all of these boxes, as well as vault toilets, again, at either side of Trout Bay, the east side or the west side. So here we're at Duck Lake, and we're at the observation deck right now, as well as it also has a campsite that's available. Just about 100 feet down the road is the entrance into our campsite, and has the same amenities as the rest of them, as far as wilderness toilet and a bear locker / bear pole, as well as opportunities to fish in the lake. It's got a population of northern pike and smallmouth bass and some panfish. So you can come out and try your luck at that. Just please remember that Department of Natural Resource regulations do apply here, so you need to have a fishing license if you're over 60.
.906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Christ, your Northwoods neighborhood store.
Yeah, this is our Muskrat Point campsite. This is a boat-in site as part of our Hiawatha Water Trail. You can also hike in here, but there is no established trail. There's an old road system that the islanders used to use years ago. However, 4 years ago, we had part of that road system collapse over on Trout Bay, so it's inaccessible by vehicle now. Once you get past that point over in Trout Bay, it's walk-in only, or as I said, boat-in. 15 feet from that pole is generally your limit of how far outside of the site you can set your camp, set up your tent. And the reason for that is simply to keep it as primitive as possible and keep people from opening up the campground and kind of spreading out. Sites on Grand Island are equipped with a storage locker and or a bear pole to secure your food. There is a population of black bears on Grand Island. It is a small population, but nonetheless, these are provided for camper safety, and you are required actually by regulation to store all your food items and any other scented items, to include things like toothpaste, chapstick, in the locker there or on a bear pole in a food bag. Yeah, come out and enjoy an incredibly peaceful spot. You're going to be able to enjoy sunshine all day, magnificent sunsets, and really just be able to enjoy your time on Grand Island here. So this is another one of our boat-in only sites. This is Cobble Cove, and this is again one of 3 boat-in sites we have. You can also walk to this site as well, but there's not a Forest Service system trail that gets you here. There are other user-developed trails, but the most popular way to get here is by boat. If you do come up here and you do plan on spending time here, it's always a caution to you to check ahead, check weather conditions, and see what's going to be coming overnight and the next day and for your time out here, because wind conditions can shift pretty fast. And if you're out here on a kayak, you can get stranded out here, and it has happened. So just definitely due diligence and be cautious in your planning, and come out and enjoy Cobble Cove.
Muskrat and Cobble Cove are 2 of the 3 boat-in sites on the island that are first come, first serve. Sites that cannot be reserved in advance. If you get to one of these sites and it's occupied by a visitor when you arrive, you'll need to continue on to find another designated site. All other sites are by reservation only and can be reserved online by visiting recreation.gov or by calling recreation.gov. Sites can be reserved from just prior to Memorial Day through Columbus Day. Today's show is brought to you in part by Rapid River Knife Works, home of Michigan's largest custom knife factory showroom.
Just a couple of quick rules about visiting Grand Island. We ask that any campfires that you have, you use only a Forest Service provided fire ring. There are no fires allowed outside of those fire rings. Also, please do not have any campfires on the beach. They are not allowed on the beach. There's 4 locations where you can get water before you head out onto the island, as well as there is bottled water available at the ferry service before you come over. One thing we like to have people keep in mind is there is nothing available once you get on Grand Island. There are no sales of any kind on Grand Island as far as whether you need bug spray or food or water or anything like that. We ask that you plan ahead and ensure that you have all of that stuff, all of those items that you believe you'll need for your stay here before you head over. There are opportunities to come out here. If you want to come out here for just a day and you want to kayak or boat out here, you can land at our day use areas. However, if you use a motored boat, you need to purchase the $40 permit at our office at Munising. Or if you kayak over here, we ask that you come to one of these fee stations you see behind me and use the fee box here to pay the day use fee of $5. If you are staying the night and at a campsite where wood has not been provided, you are allowed to go out and gather dead and down wood. And we ask you to please do not chop down any living trees. That's a pretty serious offense on the Forest Service here and anywhere you go on any national forest. So we ask that you stick strictly to dead and down wood. The ferry service is operated by a private concessionaire in conjunction and cooperation with the Forest Service. And during peak hours in the summertime, that ferry runs from 9 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, every hour on the hour. So if you are planning to get off by the end of the day, please be here by 6 o'clock. That's the last opportunity to get off of the island for the evening. Several rental services are available from Grand Island Ferry Service, where you can rent kayaks, you can rent bikes, you can even get wheeled carts if you have a lot of extra stuff that you feel you need to bring out here to enjoy your day. They also offer a bus tour, so we ask that you please call ahead, call the Grand Island Ferry Service.
Before we leave Grand Island behind, here's a look at some of the other camping opportunities and a glimpse of its unique scenery. .906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Blades Bait and Tackle, your year-round connection to fishing Badenoch. We're in Craig Lake State Park. We'll spend a night in a yurt.
We have 2 yurts, and a yurt is kind of an elaborate tent.
A traditional yurt was a portable round tent covered with skins used as a dwelling by nomads in Central Asia. Modern yurts are permanently built on a wood platform covered with canvas and include all of the conveniences you might need.
We have a wood stove inside and bunk beds, and it has even a skylight in the yurt.
And a deck with a great view of the woods and the water.
So So the reason why we lifted it up or put it on stilts here is because we get really deep snow here, and if it's not the snow on top that we have to worry about, it's the snow pushing in from the sides. So you'll notice that the snow will just fall down on the sides and it won't push on the yurt and cave it in for us. So it's kind of a nice little design. We have to do it. Put it on stilts up here in the UP. It's just kind of a unique experience to stay in a yurt. Not many people have stayed in a yurt before, and I think everybody should try it once.
And try it we did. It was cozy, clean, and comfortable. And I wouldn't have had any problem spending the rest of the day on the deck sipping margaritas. But we were on a lake, and a lake means fishing. You'll find an excellent landing and a dock a short distance from the yurt.
The only lake we can have motors on is Cowayden Lake. All these other lakes, no motors allowed.
I didn't have a motor or a boat, but conveniently enough, this lake comes with one. Well, about the time I said let's go fishing, it started to rain a little. And a little more. It kept on raining for quite some time. The rain did eventually stop and gave us just enough time to make a quick pass around the lake in the rowboat.
We provide a rowboat for each cabin. We have one at the Cowayden Yurt. We have another rowboat at the large cabin and small cabin. So each cabin at Craig Lake or yurts has a little rowboat.
Well, we didn't have much time, and scouting around the lake in a rowboat, well, takes time. We did manage to hook up with a couple of lunker sunfish, but nothing to put in the pan.
Isn't it cute?
But that was okay. I've learned over the years to have a backup plan. It was time to roll back to our new home away from home, build a fire, and throw on a couple of New York strips. For dessert, a campfire, the night sky, and the sound of loons talking to each other across Cowayden Lake.
This is a really special place at night. It is so quiet, no lights. You can't hear the road. All you can hear are the birds singing and the loons calling at night. I mean, loons are really kind of special at night. They make different sounds. And when I've been camping up here, it's just been, that's just fantastic. We don't hear another sound except for the woods. I mean, we're so far away from the roads, you don't hear another sound except for what is happening normally.
And there's not many places better to sit and listen to the night than in a yurt with a flickering fire and a view of the night sky. Day 2 starts with some breakfast. And then a walk in the park.
If you're looking for a day experience hike, I would suggest walking around the Craig Lake. It's about 3.5 hours during bug season. It's 4.5 hours during most of the summer. The trail is pretty rugged. The forest looks completely different than what you would see in the rest of the UP. I think it's because there's not a lot of deer browse in that area, and so you have hemlock and cedar that are regenerating. And
Our destination? The new suspension bridge dubbed Little Mac.
just last fall, we built a new suspension bridge across the Pashiki River. So it's really pretty unique. Worth the walk just to go look at this bridge. Takes you about 3.5, 4 hour walk. Pretty rugged terrain, but you get to see this really cool suspension bridge over a river in the middle of nowhere. That this bridge, it was pretty unique because with a suspension bridge, it'll sag in the center if you don't have counterweight. And so the only way they could get the counterweight was concrete, and they actually had a helicopter flying concrete back and forth from a staging area away from the park, and he was carrying buckets of concrete and one after another. It was a huge endeavor to get a helicopter out here and fly it to all this concrete out there, but you can't even tell there's concrete out there, and it's just the bridge looks great.
The hike there provides a great overview of the scenery you can expect to see throughout Craig Lake State Park. Feel free to join us on Facebook or visit us at 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us next week for another adventure right here on 906 Outdoors.